JinPingMei Original Version Chapter 30. Kai Taishi was good at benevolence to Shichu. Ximon King gave birth to a son and was promoted to an official. It is said that Ximon King and Pan Jinlian slept in the room after taking a bath. Chumai was sitting on a sofa under the corridor to put her shoes on, and Qin Tunger was watching at the corner door with her head resting. Chunmai asked, "What do you have to say?" The piano boy saw Kyuju kneeling in the courtyard with her head against the stone, just pointing with her hands. Chunmai scolded, "You're a weird prisoner. If you have anything to say, you can just say it. Why are you gesticulating?" The piano boy laughed for a long time, and then said, "Zhong'an, who is looking at the grave, is waiting for Dad to talk outside." Chunmai said, "The root of the thief, Zhong'an is the one. Why make a fuss? It's like a ghost." Quietly, father and mother fell asleep. "If you wake him up, you will die. Just ask Zhong'an to wait outside." Qin Tunger went outside and waited for about half a day. Then he came to the corner door and looked round, asking, "Dad, have you gotten up yet?" Chunmai said, "Weird prisoner. You didn't show any presumption and bluffed me. Is there anything you want?" "It doesn't matter. There are two wandering souls," Qin Tong said. Zhong'an waited for his father to say something, but he still wanted to rush out because he was afraid it would be too late. Chunmai said, "Mom and Dad are sleeping sweetly. Who dares to disturb him? You tell Zhong'an to wait and go. It's very late. Tell him to go tomorrow." As he was talking, he didn't want Ximon King to hear him in the room, so he called Chunmai into the room and asked who was talking. Chunmai said, "Qin Tong said that Zhong'an was outside the grave and saw his father talking." Ximon King said, "Get some clothes for me to put on and wait until I get up." As Chunmai sent Ximon King to get dressed, Jinlian asked, "What did Zhong'an say?" Ximon King said, "Zhong'an came to tell me the day before yesterday that the land of Widow Zhao's village next to our grave was for sale, and the price was 300 silver. 2. I will only return him 250 taels of silver and teach Zhong'an to talk to him. There is a well inside and 4 well circles to draw water. If this village is bought, it can be unfolded and combined into one place, and 3 rolling sheds can be built inside. 3 halls, a mountain garden, a well pavilion, an archery hall, a playing field, a place for playing, and a few taels of silver to clean up." The woman said, "Well, let's buy it. Tomorrow your mother will go to the grave and play there." After speaking, Ximon King went forward to talk to Zhong'an. Jinlian got up, went to the mirror to smooth out her face, and then straighten up her hair. "When I get out of the hospital, I want to be Kyuju." Chunmai went outside and asked Qin Tunger to hang the board. Jinlian asked, "I asked you to get wine. Why did you get cold wine to eat with Dad? It turns out that your family is not big anymore, and you still have a sharp tongue." She shouted, "Tell Qin Tunger to be honest with me. Beat this slave 20 times, the piano boy only hit 10 times. Thanks to Li Pinger, who came over with a smile and persuaded him to spare him 10 times. Jinlian Jaya kowtowed to Li Pinger, let him get up, and went to the kitchen. Li Pinger said, "Lao Pen brought a 15-year-old girl, and the second sister bought a servant in the house for 7 or 2.5 yuan. Please go and have a look." Jinlian then went behind with Li Pinger. Li Jiar asked Ximon King to buy it with 7 taels of silver. She changed her name to Jia Huier and was able to use the servants in the house without any problems. Shan Piao came to Baodong, Supervisor Wu, to escort the birthday party. It was a hot weather, and the road was very difficult to avoid being hungry or thirsty. One day I arrived outside the Manchu Gate in Tokyo and looked for a place to stay in an inn. The next day, he went to the stage to carry a box of gifts and went to the gate of Taishikai's mansion in Tiananmen Bridge to wait on him. Manager Wu, who came to protect the students, took the gifts with him. He put on his green clothes and sang a song to the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper asked, "Where are you from?" Lai Bao said, "I am a member of the family of Ximon Yuan, King County, Shandong Province, and I am here to give you a birthday gift." The official scolded, "You young thief died in the wild prison army. Where do you want to recruit members of the East Gate and the West Gate? My master is now inferior to 1 person and above 10,000 people. No matter whether there are 3 or 8 people, no matter the princes or grandsons. Who dares to do it to me? Such a title in front of the house. Stay behind as soon as possible. Someone recognized him and came to protect him. So he comforted the protector and said, "This is the gatekeeper of Shinshan. It has only been a few days. Don't blame him if he doesn't recognize you. If you want to report to the master, wait until I invite Uncle Zai." Then Lai Bao took out a bag of silver from his sleeve, weighing 1 tael, and handed it to the man. The man said, "I'm not here anymore. If you add 1 more point, you won't be on the same level as those 2 officials." Lai Bao quickly took out 3 bags of silver, 1 tael for each person, and sent them all away. The official smiled a little and said, "Since you are from King County, please wait a moment while I take you to see Butler Zai first." The master just came back from shanking Baoxiao Palace to sleep in the study. After a while, please bring Butler Zai out, wearing sandals, socks, and a blue silk Taoist robe. When I came to protect him, he knelt down quickly. Butler Zai returned the courtesy and said, "The former has troubled you. Are you here to carry out birthday gifts with me?" Lai Bao first handed over an unveiling letter. The man at his feet was holding a pair of Nanjing rulers, 30 taels of platinum, and said, "The head of the family, Simon King, is mostly covering Father Zai. He has no expression. These small gifts are the same as the rewards of Father Zai. The former Daddy Zai has to worry a lot about the matter of the 4th salt guest king." Sai Jin said, "I don't deserve this gift. Come on, I'll accept it." Lai Bao handed the Grand Master's birthday gift card again. After reading it, he gave it to Lai Bao and ordered him to carry the gift and serve him at the second door. It turns out that there are 3 reverse seats at the west end of the second gate, where all the people coming and going are waiting for tea. After a while, a child brought 2 cups of tea and ate them with Lai Bao and Manager Wu. After a while, the Grand Master came out of the hall. Sai Jin first informed the Grand Master, and then ordered Lai Bao and Director Wu to come in and kneel at the foot of the steps. Sai Jin first presented the birthday gift card to the Grand Master for viewing, and supervisors Lai Bao and Wu each presented gifts. But see, the golden pot and jade cup are yellow and shining, and the revolutionary immortal is shining white. The embroidered python robe is colorful and dazzling. The Nanjing Lingning satin is brilliant with gold and jade. Tanjing and fine wines are all covered with envelopes. Exotic fruits are in season and piled high in trays and boxes. He was not happy, so he said, "This gift is definitely not pleasant. You will go back." The panicked Lai Bao waited and kowtowed, saying, "My young master Simon King is not very filial. I just offer some trivial things to my master as a reward." The Taishi said, "In that case, I ordered you to stop." There were only a few people waiting nearby, collecting all the gifts. The Grand Master said again, "I have sent a letter to tell you, the Governor Marquis, about the guest Wang Si from Kangzhou the day before yesterday. Is it obvious that you have done something wrong?" Lai Bao said, "By the grace of the Lord, the letter has arrived." All the salt collectors were released. The Grand Master then said to Lai Bao, "Your master has been troubled many times and has nothing to do. What should I do? Does your master have any official service?" Lai Bao said, "The villain's master is a countryman. What official service does he have?" The teacher said, "Since I have no official service, the imperial court gave me a few empty names yesterday. I will put your master in your Shandong Tixing station and be the deputy judge and punishment for thousands of households. I will pay the congratulatory money for thousands of households. There is a shortage of staff. Okay." Lai Bao kowtowed in panic and said, "I have received a great favor from you. The little head of the family has been shattered and his whole family is shattered. I can't repay him." Then he called the waiting officer to bring the case over, and immediately signed an empty name and signed a petition. Fill in the name of Simon King above, and list the title of Jinwu Wei Zuo Deputy Qianhu, Shandong and other places to handle punishment. He always said, "You to have worked so hard to bring me birthday gifts." Because he asked, "Who are you kneeling behind?" When he came to protect Kai, he was told that he was a clerk. So Supervisor Wu stepped forward and said, "The younger one is Simon King's brother-in-law. His name is Wu Dian." The Grand Master said, Since you are Simon King's brother-in-law, I think you should look good." The waiting officer called the court and took out a jafu. "I've arranged for you to be a postmaster in King County, where you are, so you can go." Wu Dian kowtowed in a panic like pounding garlic. He took another piece of paper to pay, filled in the name of the bailiff in Prince Yun's mansion of Shandong, and became a school captain. They all kowtowed in thanks and received the jafu. He ordered the officials and soldiers to register tomorrow morning to discuss the survey and join forces, and to take up their posts within a limited time. He also asked Saijin to take care of the food and drinks in the West Wing, and asked for 10 taels of silver to pay for travel expenses. The official heard. At that time, Emperor Hizong was out of power, traitors were in power, and the court was slandered. The 4 traitorous parties, Gao, Yang, Tong, and Kai, sold their official positions in the court and were imprisoned. Premium: those who have a good relationship will be promoted to a beautiful position. Those who are capable, honest and upright will not be eliminated after many years. As a result, customs have become decadent, corrupt officials have spread all over the world, labor has become troublesome, people have become poor and thieves have risen, and the world has become turbulent. Not because of the treacherous ministers living in Taiwan, the people of the Central Plains are stained with blood. At that moment, Saijin invited Lai Bo and Director Wu to the side room to take charge, and had a hearty meal with large plates and bowls. Saijin said to Lai Bao, "I have one thing. I ask your father to do everything for me. I wonder if your father will agree to it?" Lai Bao said, "What did you say, Dad Sai? I can't support and look after you, an old man like you. No matter how much he chooses to do, he is willing to give orders and obey them in every way." Saijin said, "To tell you the truth, I promise you, Master, I will kill Jingjing one person every day. I am about 40 years old. I often suffer from diseases, and I have nowhere to go. My father, you have a good and talented woman in your noble place. Round 15 or 16, find one for me and send it to me. I will give you all the gifts you need." After saying that, he handed a personnel information and reply letter to the bailiff, and gave to people 50 taels in money. Lai Bao refused to accept it again and said, "My master has already rewarded me just now." "Fathers, I also took it back," Saijin said. "That belongs to the master, and this belongs to me. There is no need to refuse." After dinner, Saijin said, "Now I will send a clerk here for you to go with you to the next place, so that you can register with the Ministry of Civil Affairs and the 2nd Department of Soldiers tomorrow morning, and then get the survey and get up. It will save you the expense of going back and forth tomorrow." "Yes, I've sent my instructions separately, and the ministry doesn't dare to delay your paperwork." On the one hand, he called an official named Li Zhongyu. "You and the 2 of you will go to the ministry tomorrow to register, and we will discuss the matter and get back to me." The official made a speech with Lai Bo and Wu Dian, and then went out of the mansion to talk in a liquor store on Tianhanqiao Street. I came to keep him for dinner, and gave Li Zhongyu 3 taels of silver, agreeing to go to the Ministry of Personnel first tomorrow, and then to the Ministry of War to register and negotiate. I heard that in the Taishi master's house. Who dares to delay and follow things upside down? Zhu Mainli, the Taiwei of the Jinwu guards, immediately made a seal, signed the ticket, went to the head office, and filled in the invoice at the Prince Yun's mansion in Shandong, where he worked as an errand. He took another greeting card and returned to Butler's Eye. It doesn't take more than 2 days to get the job done. One day, I got up and returned to King County at Starry Night to tell the good news. Exactly, wealth and honor must be gained through treachery, and fame all depend on Deng Tongcheng. Let's talk about the hot weather one day. Simon King was in the large shed on the Jujing Hall at home, admiring lotus flowers and drinking wine to avoid the summer heat. Wu Yunyang and Simon King were sitting on the table, and the concubines and eldest sisters were sitting on both sides. Chen Mai, Ying Chun, Yu Xiao, Lang Shang, and 4 other musicians were playing and singing beside them. "How come we have a banquet that day? But see, green grass in pots and red flowers in bottles. The crystal curtain curls the shrimp whiskers, and the mica screen opens the peacock. There are piles of Lin-preserved meat, and beauties are smiling and holding wine glasses of purple haze. Ice peaches are being soaked in basins, and beauties are holding up jasper. Food and cooking are different, and fruits are fresh when presented. The strings and pipes sing songs, playing a clear and beautiful sound. The beautiful pearls and green flowers are arranged with 2 lines of dancing girls singing. When the banquet is held, red teeth are sprinkled on the elephant board, and the dancing skirts are covered with brocade. The sun and moon are idle in the pot of entertainment, and the world is intoxicated when traveling outside the body. While my wife and concubines were drinking, Li Ping'er disappeared. Yunyang said to Shu Chun, "What did your mother do in the house?" Shu Chun said, "My mother has a stomachache and is holding her head." Yunyang said, "Why don't you tell him quickly? Don't hold back and come here to listen to singing." Simon King asked Yunyang, "What's the matter?" Yunyang said, "Sister Li suddenly had a stomachache and was lying in the room. I asked the little girl to invite him." Because Xiang Yulu said, "Sister Li is approaching the moon in July or August. I'm afraid it will cause trouble." Pan Jinlian said, "Sister, where is this month? It's too early to ask him to be a child in August," Simon King said. "Since it's early, let me invite you Liu Niang to listen to the singing." After a while, Li Ping arrived. Yunyang said, "I'm afraid you are cold-blooded. Just drink some hot wine and take care of yourself." After a while, wine was poured in front of everyone. Simon Kingfin told Chiang Mai, "I will listen to every time you sing Everyone is Afraid of Summer." Chiang Mai and the other four have just lined up the wild goose pillars with their zithers, straddled the shark gauze, opened their red lips, exposed their white teeth, and sang Everyone is Afraid of Summer. At the banquet, Li Ping'er just frowned and went back to his room without waiting to finish singing. After listening to the lyrics and music, Yunyang was so excited that she looked into the little jade room. When he came back, he reported, "Liu Niang has a stomachache and is rolling on the kang." Panicked, Yunyang said, "I said it was time, but this sixth sister insisted on saying it early. If you haven't called the servant yet, hurry up and invite me." Simon King immediately ordered Ping An'er, "Fang, run away. Please hurry up and invite Madam Kai." So, he couldn't even drink wine, so he came to Li Ping'er's room to ask him. Yunyang asked, "Sister Li, what are you feeling in your heart?" Li Ping'er replied, "Sister, my heart, mouth, and belly are all hurting." Yunyang said, "When you get up, don't fall asleep, for fear of breaking the fetus. I'll come as soon as I ask you to go." After a while, Li Ping'er gradually became more painful. Yunyang asked again, "Who did you send to invite me?" "We haven't come yet," Diane said. "Father has sent us to invite you." Yunyang scolded, "Why don't you go and greet this prisoner? It's just a matter of course." "I sent that little servant to go, either urgently or slowly." Simon King asked Diane to ride on his mule and rush there. Yunyang said, "It's a matter of wind and fire, but it's still as slow and polite as usual." When Pan Jinlian saw that Li Ping'er was raising a child, she felt a little angry. After looking round in the room, he pulled Mang Yulu out, and the two of them stood under the eaves pillars in the west corner to rest and talk together. Said, "Yeah, Korean music, Korean music. It's so hot that all the people in the house are crowded together, and they are not raising children. They all look like cowards." After a long time, Kai Lao Niang came in, looked at everyone and said, "Is that the master's grandma?" Li Jiar pointed at Yunyang and said, "This is the aunt." Madam Kai kowtowed. Yunyang said, "Grandma, I will give birth to you. Why did we come here, please see? Does this lady dare to wait for a child?" Kai Lao Niang touched Li Ping'er's body in front of the bed and said, "It's time." Asked, "Auntie, have you prepared bandages and papyrus?" Yunyang said, "Yes." Then he called Xiao Yu, "Go to my room and get it quickly." When Yulu saw his mother coming in, he said to Jin Lian, "Lao Kai is here. Why don't we go into the house and take a look?" Jin Lian said, "If you want to see, go ahead. I won't look at him. She is a sister who has children and is very lucky. Why don't people look at her?" In my head, I didn't think so. I said, "I'm afraid it's in August, and call the eldest sister for nothing. I have no reason to think about it. It annoyed me for half a day. Yulu said, I only said that he was born in June. Jin Liang said, this time even you are in trouble. Let me tell you, he has been here since August last year, and she is not a yellow flower daughter. She was pregnant at that time and started to raise her. I don't know how many times a man has seen a married wife. She gave birth to a baby just 1 or 2 months ago, so she thought it was our child. Is that bad? If the baby is born in August, there will still be some shadow of our family. If it is born in June, she will step on a small stool to get lost in the Shinto way. Still, there is only one missing person. I have lost my hometown. Where can I find my son? Just as he was talking, he saw Xiaoyu coming with straw paper, a bandage and a small mattress. Meng Yulu said, eldest sister prepared this for him to use in the morning and evening. I borrowed it for emergency use today. Jin Liang said, one is the eldest wife, and the other is the little wife. Tomorrow they will be raised in pairs, and they will not be able to raise each other, so I will just give them out in bits and pieces. Every time I buy a hen and it doesn't lay eggs, why don't I eat it? She added, lying on your back and closing your head. How can you be happy when a dog bites the urine and makes the cells empty? Yulu said, what did fifth sister say? Later, when I saw that he was speaking carelessly, he only lowered his head to fiddle with the strings of his skirt and did not answer him. After a while, Sun Zui heard that Li Ping'er was raising a child and came hurriedly from behind to watch. Unexpectedly, she almost tripped over the platform foundation in the dark shadow. Jin Liang saw it and told Yulu, look at the diligent little servant girl. Why are you in a hurry when you walk slowly? You are trying to save your life. The black shadow stumbled and knocked his teeth for money. Raise the child and I will reward you tomorrow. The little slave girl only wears a gauze hat. After a long time, there was only a croak sound in the room. Kai Lao Niang said, tell the father in charge that I have given birth to a brother because of my love for money. Wu Yunyang reported to Simon King. Simon King hurriedly washed his hands, filled the furnace with incense under the throne of the ancestors of heaven and earth, and promised to hold a 120-minute funeral ceremony, praying for the safety of mother and child, a happy birth, and safe sitting on the grass. When Pan Jinlian heard that she had given birth to a child, the whole family was happy and in chaos. She became even more angry and went to the room, closed the door, and cried on the bed. In the 4th year of Shishwani's reign, in the 6th month of Wushan, it was red for 3 days. Exactly, things often go wrong as you wish, but you can always tell people the same thing. Mrs. Kai took care of the child, bit off the umbilical cord, buried the cells, cooked some calming soup, sent Li Ping'er to eat, and settled the child. Yunyang asked me to take care of the food and drinks. Before leaving, Simon King gave him 5 taels of silver, and when Zhu Shi came 3 times, he also gave him a piece of satin. Mrs. Kai is very grateful and goes out. That day, Simon King went into the room and saw a baby in his arms. The baby was very white, and he was very happy. The whole family is happy. In the evening, I rested in Li Ping'er's room, not stopping to see the child. The next day, Ba Tianmingming got up, took 10 square boxes, and asked the boys to deliver the wedding noodles to relatives and neighbors. When Earl Ying and Zida heard that Simon King had given birth to a son, they came to congratulate him and hurriedly took 2 steps at a time to congratulate him. Simon King left him in the rolling shed to eat noodles. She had just been sent away, and was about to ask the servant to call a matchmaker to find a foster mother, when suddenly Sister-in-law Zhu came with a breast. She was originally a daughter-in-law of a small family. She was 30 years old, and she had recently lost her child, less than a month ago. If a man joins the army and cannot make it, he is afraid that he will go to war without anyone to support him, so he can be sold for only 6 taels of silver. Seeing that he was born clean, Yunyang told Simon King that she would keep him in exchange for 6 taels of silver, name him Ryer, and teach him to look after his nanny in the morning and evening. He also called Lao Feng to work in the darkroom, giving him 5 coins a month, and taking care of his clothes. It was a busy day when suddenly there was a safety report. Li Bao and Director Wu returned in Tokyo and were found at the door. After a while, the two came in and met Simon King to announce the good news. Simon King asked, "Where does the joy come from?" The two of them went to Tokyo to see Taishi Kai for a ceremony, and said from beginning to end, the master was very happy when he saw the gift. And said, "I have received gifts from your master many times, and I can't help but do it." Supplementary report. The imperial court admired him for a few empty titles and gave one to his father. He filled in his name and surname in the post of Deputy Qianhu of Jinwu Guard, and then entrusted him to handle the punishment at the punishment office, to make up for the vacancy of Mr. He made the younger one a captain of the Teeling Guards, and filled him in as an errand in Prince Yen's mansion. Director Wu was promoted to the postmaster of the county, so he bundled up the same 3 seals, combined them with the officials and soldiers, took out the official titles, and put them on the table to watch with Simon King. Simon King saw that there were many seals on it, and the imperial court followed the example. Sure enough, he was the deputy of 1,000 households. Unconsciously, joy appeared from the corners of his forehead and the tip of his eyebrows, and a smile appeared on his cheeks. Then he surrendered the imperial court, and took it to the back to watch with Wu Yunyang and everyone, and said, "Master Taishi promoted me to the position of deputy Qianhu of the Jinwu Guard, occupying the position of a 5th grade official. You have received the 5-flower official title and become the wife." He also took Supervisor Wu to be the Yi Chang, and came to Bao to be the captain of Prince Yen's mansion. Wu Shengshan liked me to wear a lot of gauze hats, and I felt as happy as climbing to the clouds, as expected today. In less than half a month, both happy events have come true. Then he said to Yunyang, "The child raised by Sisterly has very hard feet. After 3 days of washing, I will name him Guanjir." Li Bao came in, kowtowed to Yunyang and everyone, and said something back. He was ordered to send the documents to the Yamen of Tixing Station tomorrow morning and inform Jia Tixing. Manager Wu will send a letter to the county tomorrow morning to make a speech, and Simon King will go home. The next day, after the 3rd bath, all relatives, neighbors and friends knew that Simon King's 6th wife had a new baby. Within 3 days, such a beautiful thing happened. Who won't come to join us? Gifts are given to celebrate, people come and go, and the day goes by without stopping. As the saying goes, who will not come when the time comes? If time doesn't come, who will? Exactly. Sometimes stubborn iron has brilliance, but when fortune returns, true gold has no color.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.